There seems to be an awful lot of sad stories in the news today, and there are thousands missing. Does anybody care? We built a channel where we talk about those faces. Talking news. Debbie. Cassie Barnes has still not been found, and it's been 2 years since her case first hit the spotlight. Breaking. Child Gabriel and Little Valley both behind bars. Sarah Galloway was found. She wasn't found alive. What happened to Sarah Galloway?
It's too heartbreaking to share.
Children are still missing. Children like Dorsey. You're in she. You just got away with it. Welcome to Talking News. Hello everyone. My name is Debbie. We use big stories to push little faces.
Hello everyone, welcome to Chasing a Murder Talking News. Today I have a Talking News episode. Wasn't able to go into deep research on this, but I thought this story is quite interesting and needed to be on, to alert people that this case, I think, could have been prevented if police had actually addressed the issue that was called in supposedly 9 times by one witness. So the story is coming out of Georgia. So many women dealing with domestic violence. We have women that are also dealing with abductions and being hunted. And it's becoming so difficult for me to cover all these stories simply because there's so many of them. Before we get started, I want to thank everyone who has been patient while I've been sick and very busy. You know, my son and I are dealing with some kind of illness that they're not even sure what it is yet. My puppies were sick, got them better, they're doing good, so that's a good thing. But it's been one heck of a year here. I want to thank everyone who has been supportive of this channel, the people who have commented, liked, and subscribed. And I really want to thank the people who have been given on Patreon monthly. Thank you so much for your support. And I plan to do something very special for you guys soon. All right, let's go ahead and get to the story because you know I like to get to the nitty gritty, not too much jabber. So again, this is about a beautiful young lady by the name of Tiante Jones, known as TK. And how I found out about this story is on March 27th of 2022 when there was a standoff between police and a woman's ex-boyfriend. At least that was the title of the story coming out of Fairburn, Georgia. And as I started reading more of the story, we found out that this case actually starts with friends and family being very concerned about a 30-year-old Tiante Jones who went by TK. And one of those friends is one of her boyfriend, Will Brantley. He says that he was not picked up. He was not able to get in communication with her and just wasn't showing up for her regular daily activities. So on March 24th of 2022, Jones' family told a news reporter from Fox 5 that they hadn't heard from her since 1:30 p.m. on March 24th. Her boyfriend said that, quote, "All I know is she dropped me off at work at 6:45 a.m. that Thursday, March 24th, and she was supposed to pick me up at 7 p.m. But sadly, she never showed up. In fact, this 30-year-old woman was actually reported missing Thursday, mainly because the family said they hadn't heard from her since 1:30 p.m. on that Thursday, March 24th, and combined with the fact that she didn't show up to pick up her boyfriend, which was not like her. So here's an interesting fact. According to one witness that was in the area and was one of the last people to have actually seen TK alive, said she was walking outside when she come across this couple that was arguing, and she said she at least called police 9 times, but police never come. A few reasons for this is the fact that police are short-handed, which seems to be a problem across this nation. So who was she seen arguing with? Well, it's her boyfriend, Kenneth Southern, 43 years old. So the next day, which is Friday, police say that they go out to have a visit with the ex-boyfriend, which, like I said, a lot of these news stories don't seem to have their facts correct. But on Saturday, police actually do an investigation at the home where the witness last seen the couple arguing, and they locate Miss TK, but she's no longer alive. She has been shot. We don't know how many times. And it's later on that police actually locate TK's ex-boyfriend at this house, and they end up calling in a SWAT team, trying to convince this guy to come out, to surrender. But turns out he works his way up into the attic where he shoots himself. And I'll go into more details on that later, but I needed to do that in order to go into this video clip. So here we're going to listen to a video clip of a witness who says that she's seen this couple arguing, and the thing she has to share throws up many flags.
It's hard. Everybody's hurt by it.
Jones was found shot to death in this home in South Fulton on Sable Chase Lane late Saturday night.
It's on it.
I know for a fact I called police about 9 times.
This neighbor, who didn't want to be identified, told me she overheard Jones arguing with who police have identified as 43-year-old Kenneth Southern.
I remember her saying, "This my house. Just get out of my house. This my house. This my stuff. Just leave."
She says when she saw Southern get physical with Jones, that's when she called police.
I can remember him grabbing her with his, trying to reach for her with his right arm, and she jerked back.
Neighbors said police never came.
And she said, "Well, if it's not life-threatening right now, we don't have an officer."
The neighbor says she walked past the house sometime after that call and saw the Jeep was gone.
It was a Jeep when I came out the first time that was out there, but when I came back around, it wasn't no Jeep there.
Right now, we don't have a lot of information about the ex-boyfriend or supposedly, allegedly, her present boyfriend. But all we know is she goes missing for a small period of time. A witness sees that she engages in some sort of argument with the ex-boyfriend. We do know, however, that police ended up going to this ex-boyfriend's house, finding out that she is deceased because she was shot. A lot of people believe that if police had actually showed up when this witness had seen this argument, maybe this could have been prevented. But according to police, they were very short-handed that day, and if it wasn't life-threatening, which it was, they could not send out an officer. So I hope this is looked into. So here are the few problems that we're already having with not having the correct resources to handle the population and crime that we're experiencing in this nation. And I've noticed it's not just in Georgia, it's everywhere. But like I mentioned, the witness feels that if the police would have come, she feels like there would have been a different outcome. I'm hoping that a media sees this, picks it up, and actually seeks some comments from the police. We know that TK actually was in a group, a Jeep group, and police were told to look for this purple Jeep, which she drove very proudly. The group that TK belonged to on Facebook is called Atlanta Jeep Life. One of the people that belonged to the group that goes by the name Hodrick said that she was a sweet person, very direct, and she was a go-getter. She really touched every last person here, and it's a really big loss to our community. In fact, several members from this Jeep group were involved with trying to help locate TK when she was missing. And later on, they will have a vigil for her where they release tons of purple balloons in her honor. Hodrick said that friends were able to actually track TK down using her phone location app. And the group actually pushed, and I believe you are to do this as well, as we all should have such an app in case something ever happens like this, you're able to be located. It doesn't always have to be something so devastating as abduction. Maybe it's an accident, such as going off the highway into a ditch. Still not good, but people can locate you. TK's friends and family knew something was incredibly wrong because that whole day Friday, they didn't hear a word from her. It's not until the next day, on Saturday, that police actually head over to TK's ex-boyfriend's home. Just to let you guys know that some of this story is contradictory, so nothing's set in stone right now when it comes to telling this story. So around March 26th of 2022, which is a Saturday, TK is missing, and so is her Jeep. But later that day, they find the Jeep at Staplechase subdivision where the ex-boyfriend lived. Now here's another contradiction of that story. According to friends, they say that her Jeep was actually located at her house. So we don't know for certain where the Jeep was found. So according to Fox 5, they're saying that the Jeep was found in the ex-boyfriend's subdivision. So we'll go with that for now. A family member says that they pinged TK's cell phone in a wooded area several miles away from the ex-boyfriend's home. Meanwhile, the day before, the Fairborn Police Department said that they had investigators at the ex-boyfriend's home, but they ended up coming back on Saturday. When they were there Friday, they said they did not locate her vehicle. So I'm not certain how the police ended up going back to the ex-boyfriend's house, Kenneth's house on Saturday, but they hint as if maybe they got a tip that there was a deceased body inside this place. So according to a few sources, they actually locate TK in this home around 11 p.m. that evening. The place that they say that they find her is on Staplechase Lane, and this is provided by the Fairborn Police Department. And again, it states that Jeep was later found in the subdivision near the where Kenneth Southern lived. So I found out on March 27th on 2022 that officers had actually confronted TK's boyfriend, who is 43 years old, Kenneth Southern, at his home. And this was done on Sunday morning. Now, some media sources tried to make this sound a little more dramatic than it was, but what we're finding out is Kenneth Southern, and I hope I got his age right too, guys. Don't hold me on any of these notes on a solid information. Anyways, when police arrived, they say that Kenneth had barricaded himself in the attic. According to some sources, it said that the SWAT team was called to the scene, and they actually tried to persuade and talk to this guy and to bring him out without anything bad happening. But turns out he ended up turning the gun on himself and taking his own life. The police were certain that Kenneth was a suspect in this case, and it seems that, this might have been the case since he did take his own life. But of course, police have a lot of investigating to do still, a lot of questions to answer, so I'm sure we'll hear more of this in the future. But what was really interesting is the fact that the Metro Region, or the South Metro Region SWAT, tried to negotiate with this guy, and it just didn't do any good whatsoever. We learned also that the police department requested Georgia Bureau of Investigation for assistance, but agents declined to open an investigation, saying that the law enforcement did not use force or fire shots during the standoff. So there were no officers injured, thank God. On March 28th, dozens of people from the Jeep group drive up in their Jeeps carrying purple balloons in support of this woman. And they say that she is definitely a genuine and a horrible loss to the community. So the Atlanta Jeep Life actually embraced Tianta Jones. They said that she had recently joined, and the group actually engaged in community service, goes on trail rides, and attends car shows, and also holds events with similar groups in other states. One of the guys from the group, again, is Hodrick, says that Jones' car was named Purple Rain in honor of her favorite color. So another tragic, sad story related to domestic violence, ladies. A lot of people are wondering, if she has a boyfriend, then why was she hanging out with this ex-boyfriend? So we don't know. It could have been to do with maybe bills, children. We have no idea. All we can do is hope that other women see this story and see, to be careful, guys. Get those location apps. Also, let's bring awareness to the fact that police are so short-handed. This is not a situation any of us needs to be in. I have to cut this quite short, guys. Got to go. My husband just came in from Israel, so I want to spend some time with my family. But please share her story. Let's send this family some love, and let's not forget about the other stories we have and other faces that continue to go on missing. Please make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure that you like, and you can donate to Patreon if you'd like to help this channel keep going. Guys, don't forget, share one of these girls' story. Love you guys. See you guys soon.